My name is Jacintah McCaffrey, and I'm a qualified social worker. After my A-level, I went into teaching, and I was a teacher in a number of high schools in Rift Valley. I taught in a number of secondary schools there, including my own former high school, Turkana Girls, in the northern part of Kenya. I just loved working with young people. As time went on, and I realized that actually social work is underpinned by values that really align with my own values, my own beliefs. And I just had to transition from teaching into social work. After my qualification, I did work with a local girls' street project in Nairobi. So I really had first-hand understanding of abject poverty. I also worked with international organizations. I worked in the UN Convention on the Rights of the Children in terms of the refugee camp. For the first time, it really helped me to have an insight into the consequences of war and the suffering that comes with, and the trauma that people experience with that. That was a really great experience as well in terms of realizing the impact of not just the trauma, but the loss that people can experience in their life because of war. And then in 2001, I moved to Northern Ireland. My two sisters-in-law worked with NHS, and they also linked me up with the senior social workers who I was able to meet and talk, and really helped me to understand about social work here in Northern Ireland. The senior social worker was able to explain to me what I needed to do, what was required of me before I can take any employment here as a social worker. And I remember then the organization was the Central Council for Education and Training for Social Work. He was able to link me up with that organization, and they needed to really do the verification of my qualification. That is looking at the social work qualifications that are acquired outside this country and verify and confirm that they are actually social work qualifications. I got my social work degree in the Catholic University of Eastern Africa. So that's what they needed to verify, to confirm that it was indeed a social work qualification. I was supposed to provide a certificate of good conduct from my own country, access NI in Northern Ireland to ensure that I didn't have a criminal record. And that was important, that verification process, because then it was able to assure my would-be employers in terms of their own guidelines around employing someone who has not qualified from here. You're working with sometimes quite vulnerable people, so it's important that that process is done, and it's done right. I remember for a number of years, I never met a social worker from, I would say, outside the UK. And I think it's interesting now, when I look back, I have now met quite a number of social workers from Africa, from other developing countries, who are qualified social workers. And some of them have qualified in this country. And I think it's important in terms of diversity, because if you look at the service users, people who are accessing the support from social workers. Now it's not just people from Northern Ireland. It's not just people who are originally from here. You know, you're having unaccompanied minors. Belfast Trust has a home that welcomes young people who have come into this country unaccompanied. We are having young people not just from Africa, but from Asia, from other parts of the world. We are having families who are not originally from here. We have had, like, the Syrian refugees have been settled here. We have people who are are going through asylum seeking process, and perhaps just like me, English is not their first language, neither is it their second language. So it's very important to have, because of that level of diversity, that's also reflected within the profession. And I think for me, that I can encourage my own people, when I say my own people, are people from developing countries, to realize social work profession is such a beautiful profession. It's a diverse profession, and is a profession that can provide so many opportunities. And I can say that from my own journey. Opportunities for social workers are massive. And I think I would love to see more and more people applying for social work, people from diverse background, to reflect the demand that we have.